If you want to learn how I pulled Spotify numbers like this, and like this using Facebook ads alone, then you're in the right place because this is my ultimate guide to using Facebook ads to promote your music on Spotify. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire process from start to finish, starting with making our landing page, then installing our pixel on that landing page and setting up the custom conversion event. We're going to create our campaign, we're going to pick our audience, and then we're going to set up our ads. And we're going to make the campaign a little more complicated, a little bit more advanced. And then don't worry if you have no idea what any of these terms mean, by the way, because as we go through the different steps, I'm going to explain everything along the way. Hey everyone, Andrew here. Without further ado, let's dive right in because we have a lot to cover. So the general workflow of this type of campaign, I call it a conversion campaign because it is a conversion campaign, but people see our ad right here. They listen to the song, they see the little clip, they click listen now. It takes them to a landing page in which they can click one of these buttons, triggering a conversion event that Facebook can see to know when the conversion occurred. And then the person goes and interacts with their music on Spotify or Apple or YouTube or Amazon or whatever. So one of the most important parts of this whole process is the landing page. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to do everything with Hyped It. But if you want a free alternative, you can use ToneDen, or if you want an even fancier plan or you're a label or something, I use Feature FM for that kind of application. And in my course, Spotify Growth Machine, I cover this exact same setup with ToneDen and Feature FM. You can find a link to that in the description or at the end of the video somewhere. But I'm going to be showing you Hyped It in this video, and I think Hyped It is a great solution. I also have an extra long free trial in my description if you want to give Hyped It a spin. But I'm going to click Share Music here, and we want to make a smart link. So in here, we need to put in a source URL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my Spotify account here. I'm on my Andrew Southworth Spotify profile. I'm just going to pick a random song. I guess let's do Life is Short because why not? I'm going to paste this in here. Click Next. Genre doesn't really matter. It's for their internal charts, which I personally don't care about. So I just put in some fluff. I'm going to remove the Hyped It logo. Click Next. And then we get all of these links because they're able to use the APIs to pull them. I never use SoundCloud. I put Apple Music above iTunes. If you're just starting this, I would probably just do Spotify, Apple Music, maybe iTunes. Almost no one uses it. Because I feel like I have a more solid base, I'm down spreading my wings a little bit, diversifying. But I generally remove YouTube and Pandora and regular Amazon and Yandex, actually. Maybe Napster. So we're ending up with these few. You'll see how the link looks at the end of it. But it is customizable to your liking. I'll click next here, next, default. I like to turn the audio preview off. Tracking pixels, I already have my pixels selected. I don't want you to see my conversion API token, so I'm just gonna stop my screen share. And now we have the final step. I'm gonna click create. So now we have our landing page. This is what it looks like. It looks a little bit different on mobile. It looks more like this other page that I showed you. This is a Feature FM landing page. On mobile, Hyped It looks pretty much exactly like that. So if you like that vertical look better, that is how it looks on mobile. But on desktop, this is what Hyped It does because, it's a different format. So now that we have this link, we can start diving into setting up the pixel. All right, so now I'm inside of Events Manager. If you don't know how to get there, first you go to Regular Ads Manager just directly from Facebook, and then you click this little menu thing up here, and then you go to Events Manager. So that's where I am now. Now, if you don't see this, you want to click Data Sources on the left so that you can see your actual pixel. And all we have to do is copy and paste this code, this little number here. That's all you need. And then we go over to Hyped It, and we could go back to our dashboard. We can edit our link. Go over to tracking pixels and put our pixel in. All right, so now we have our pixel in, our pixels installed. They do support Conversion API, but I'm skipping it for this just because it makes things more complicated for you. And you can deal with that later once you're more comfortable with this stuff. But now we have our pixel installed. However, what you want to do is test your pixel to make sure it's installed. So I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to go over to Events Manager. I'm going to go to this Test Events area. And then I'm going to select the channel, website, confirm your website events are set up correctly, and paste this link in here. And if I go back to Events Manager, we see a Hyped It Smart Link visit. If I come here and I click on Spotify, for example, I'm just going to click cancel so it doesn't autoplay and make things really loud for you. We have this Hyped It Smart Link click, right? So when people land at the page, it fires a Hyped It Smart Link visit. And when people click and convert on the page, it fires a Hyped It Smart Link click. So in our ad campaign, we're going to want to use the Hyped It Smart Link click event as the event we use to optimize your campaign. Now, if you know anything about custom conversions, you can also set up a custom conversion, but you don't actually have to anymore. You can just use the direct Hyped It Smart Link click. Now, if this tool isn't working for you, because a lot of people ask me this, make sure that you're using Google Chrome Make sure you have all ad blocking, pixel blocking extensions turned off, but make sure in your browser's security privacy section that you don't have all third-party cookies blocked. So third-party tracking cookies have to be enabled because a pixel is essentially a third-party tracking cookie. So if your browser is blocking them, you're blocking your own test events from being read. So ideally use Chrome, turn off that stuff, make sure you aren't blocking third-party tracking pixels, and then make sure your pixel's installed, and then this test events should work. But I would be very hesitant to proceed if you can't see your events firing inside of test events, or at least you can get the Facebook Pixel Helper extension. It's just a free Chrome extension for you to track your pixel events inside of the browser, but I would try to get this test events thing to work to be 110% sure that everything is working okay. All right, so now we're going to flip back over to Ads Manager again. Just click that little All Tools button and go to Ads Manager to go to your ad account. And this here is when we're getting into the juicy part of the video. The only thing I can think of that's even juicier than this is you smashing that like button. So make sure to pay attention here. So we want to click this green create button, and the type of campaign we're going for is engagement. I'm going to click continue. The reason why engagement is because it allows us to track conversion events, and we're not trying to sell anything. We're not trying to get leads. So we shouldn't use the lead event, right? We're not trying to get leads, and we shouldn't use the sales event because we're not trying to get sales. Engagement is the closest thing that supports conversion events. So we're going to use engagement. And click continue. And then now we're in a campaign. I'm not going to name everything accurate. I'm just going to call this test streaming. And then the first thing we can do here is we can turn on advantage campaign budget, and then we can specify our budget down here. And you could start, I recommend your first campaign just starting with $10 a day because you have no idea what you're doing. And even if you do know what you're doing, the most likely time for things to go horribly wrong is the first couple or days or a week of your very first campaign ever. So I recommend starting lower and then ramping up later. I don't really recommend starting with less than 10 a day. 5 a day can technically work, but it's a little thin. So I would try to do 10 if you can. And then I just click next, and now we're into the ad set. So I'm going to call this tier 1/2-IG, and you'll see why in a moment. This is just my naming convention. Our conversion location is occurring on a website. If I come down a little bit, you can see that we're maximizing the number of conversions. I'm choosing my pixel here. The conversion event I'm going to choose is going to be my Hyped It Smart Link Click event because we saw that that's what's firing from Hyped It. And then now, Facebook has this new thing called Advantage Plus Audience. I'm just going to switch to the original audience option because I don't trust the new stuff yet. It just came out in the last couple of weeks. Now for locations, this is really up to you. I'm going to go in here and choose a preset country list that I have, tier 1-2. You can use whatever you want. If you want to get my exact country list spreadsheet and kind of know exactly what I'm always using every given time, that is also in my Spotify Growth Machine course. But you can see here what I'm using now. I'll just kind of skim through it so you can get an idea of the countries. But generally, avoid countries in Africa and Asia because a lot of them just don't work. Yeah, but you can do different countries if you wish. Ages, avoid 65 plus. Even if you're doing 18 to 64, ideally define this a little bit, but don't define it too much. So if your age group is 18 to 34, maybe do 18 to 45. Get a little broader than you think you need. We're going to type in Spotify here, as the first interest. Now, because we're trying to make sure that people like Spotify, if you're trying to target something else, target something else. But in this case, I'm assuming you want to boost your Spotify numbers. And then we're going to click Define Further here. So now it's Spotify and must also match. And must also match whatever we put in here. So my song life is short. I feel like Post Malone fans would probably like it. But obviously tailor this to what you sound like. Now we're going to keep this campaign simple. So I'm just going to throw in a bunch of stuff. Just throwing Linkin Park. It's kind of got a little bit of a rocky edge to it. And either way, this isn't about me and my song. This is about you and your song. So just think about what you sound like, what fans of which artists might like your song. Use historical data if you have any data to base that off of. And throw it all in there in one big hodgepodge. Because we're trying to keep this first campaign simple. So now we're going to get down to the placements, which is kind of a fun part. We're going to click Edit. We're going to do Manual Placements. And here, you're just going to want to unselect everything but Instagram if this is your first time. If you've done this a bunch, you could try doing some Facebook stuff, but I recommend if it's your first one, that you only run on Instagram Reels, Instagram Stories, Instagram Explore, and Instagram Feed. So these four: Feed, Explore, Stories, and Reels. Later down the line, you can try Facebook, but I found that if people try Facebook from day one, it can just ruin everything. So just use these four Instagram placements if this is your first time. Now I'm going to go here and rename this. So it's still tier 1/2-IG. That's where those naming things came in. Tier 1/2 is the countries, IG is the placements. And then I'm just going to type in target artists. Okay. So now I'm going to click next, and we're going to go into the ad, which is a more creative part. It's hard to say exactly what you can do because there's an infinite amount of things you can try here. But the broadest recommendation for most of you watching right now is to use highly engaging performance footage. You lip syncing in really cool looking places with bright colors and good lighting, cool moods, interesting things. Maybe you're doing a backflip in the video, you're juggling while you're singing, like whatever it is. Highly engaging lip sync footage that feels genuine to your brand, and ideally content that you already know has performed well on social media. But it can be as simple as you just sitting in your studio, lip syncing in front of a microphone, and that can work great for most people. If you're an instrumental artist, do like a guitar sync or guitar playthrough, essentially. I'm going to scroll down and leave a lot of this stuff like pre-selected, except for this multi-advertiser ads. I don't like using that. But now I'm going to go to Add Media, Add Video, and I have a video library. You probably won't have anything in here, but if you don't, you just click Upload, and you can upload your videos straight in there. Now, ideally, they'll be vertical. I'm just going to click on one in here. You can see it's a vertical video, but I designed it in a way that when it's cropped to a 4:5, you're going to see it's going to look great. See, looks great. This is a 4:5 that they automatically cropped it to for Feeds and Explore, but for Stories and Reels, it runs a full screen vertical. So keep that in mind. And usually the length, 15 to 25 seconds, that kind of thing. And then you're going to want to make several of these, by the way, but we're going to get into that in a moment. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Now we want to grab this Hyped It link that we have. So I'm just going to copy the URL. We're going to go down to the destination, paste that in. We're going to go up to the call to action. We're going to click Listen Now. You can put some text in here. If you put text in here, make sure that it either describes what the song is, what kind of genre it is, who might like it, tell something about the story of the song, or uses the lyrics of the song. Don't just say new song out now, life is short, out now, life is short by Andrew Southworth. That's all boring as hell. This part I found actually isn't very, very important. It does make a difference, but it's a small difference. Just don't do something stupid like out now, or I will make fun of you if I see you on Facebook. But yeah, so now we have a whole ad, and then you could technically publish this and you could just call it a day. However, this will probably not work well. What you're going to want to do is call this ad 1. And I'm going to expand this little side window here. I'm going to click these 3 dots and click quickly duplicate. Now we have a second ad. Now this is still $10 a day. Like, we're not spending $10 a day times 2. We're just spending 10, even though we have a second ad. So in here, we have a second ad. I'm going to tell this ad 2. Then I just go down and I delete the video, add media, add video, and choose one of the other videos that I just uploaded. Right? I'm going to come here, quickly duplicate again, delete the video, add media, add video, choose another one of the videos that I uploaded. And I recommend you do at least 3. That's why I did this 3 times. It wasn't just to bore you and waste your time watching me copy 2 ads. I want you to do at least 3 ads, 3 different parts of the song, ideally, just because the parts of the song can make a massive difference to the performance of your ad campaign. So this is the end of the basic thing. Now, if you want to see even more examples of this, I have my core Spotify growth machine link down below. But now I want to show you a way that you can make this campaign a little bit more advanced. And it's actually simpler than it sounds. I'm going to click on this target artist thing, and I'm going to copy that. And now remember before, I bundled all of this stuff together. All we're going to do here is I'm just going to remove a bunch of stuff. So now this is a Blink-182 audience. This really doesn't make sense for this song, but pretend it does. I'm going to go to this one, and let's just make this one just, I don't know, just Post Malone. Right? So we before we were bundling these all together, but now we're splitting them. So we have a Post Malone one, and we have a Blink-182 one. Do it again, and then let's say this one was a Justin Bieber. I'm not going to change it because I think you get the point. Now, at this point, you can publish this campaign, although I recommend doing it in stages so Facebook doesn't like ban you if you've never run ads before. Now, once this ad campaign is live, you're going to want to wait 2 to 3 days for the campaign to figure itself out. But you're also going to need to learn about optimization. And to do that, you can check out this video right here called 5 Ways That I've Saved Failing ad campaigns. And if you want to have even more information about how to run campaigns like this, you can check out my course, Spotify Growth Machine, with a community, my country list, and all a bunch of videos for you to watch this whole process. And if this stuff sounds awful to you, you can also just hire my ad agency to do it, and the link for that's in the description. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.